There was no attempt in humor at all in what he said. And as a matter of fact, it was a lie. Now, as you pointed to, Will, since the 1960s, you have to get a license to broadcast. This isn't Netflix. This isn't cable. This is broadcast TV. And when you have broadcast TV, you have to, the airwaves are owned by the public.
Why do they think that just as long as you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues? It's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that, you start to get that self-important feeling to what you say has great import. And you know, strangely enough, use that show as you can sway people. And I don't think you should do anything.
Rob Schneider has now joined the whole Jimmy Kimmel drama, and wow, it's harsh. The famous comedian totally went after the late-night star after his ABC firing, and nobody on the woke side expected it. They thought Rob, being another funny guy, would stand with Kimmel. But instead, he hit them with strong words that shocked everyone. This wasn't friendly support. It was more like a sneak attack with jokes. Get ready, because this roast will be remembered.
Joining me now to figure all this out is actor and comedian Rob Schneider. Rob, great to see you here today. Are you chilled? Are you in fear for the future of comedy and free speech?
Well, Will, first of all, I woke up this morning to the incredible shock that apparently TV shows are not guaranteed in our Constitution. I mean, wow. So that was tough to swallow. First,
Rob threw his first punch by making fun of Kimmel and the left with some hard truth. TV shows are not promised in the Constitution. That's right. Even if the woke crowd screams free speech, it doesn't mean you get to keep a big TV paycheck. You can say what you want, but the network can fire you if your words hurt their money. Rob didn't stop there. He added even more sarcasm, laughing at how the left cried over Kimmel's firing. He reminded them clearly that the First Amendment only protects you from the government, not from your boss firing you. So if you want to say anything you want and still keep your job, you'd better own the company. Otherwise, the company decides who stays and who goes. Rob made sure the woke crowd understood that well. And he wasn't done yet. He had more to say.
second, I'm still waiting for the left, the liberals, to get outraged about Roseanne getting fired for her free speech. And then I'm also waiting, I've been waiting a long time for the left and the Democrats, especially the Democrats on Capitol Hill, for the Twitter files that released that the Biden-Harris administration was actually using the government to pressure Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and especially Twitter to actually censor actual Americans through government pressure.
Rob then brought up another point. Where was all this fake anger when Roseanne Barr got fired from ABC after her comments about Valerie Jarrett? Back then, the left was totally quiet. No tears. No protests. But now they act upset because it's Jimmy Kimmel. Rob made it clear he's not defending Roseanne's comments. He said what she said was wrong, but he showed how unfair it is. If the left was fine with ABC firing one of its biggest stars then, why cry now when it happens to Kimmel? You can't cheer when someone you dislike gets fired and then complain when it happens to your own favorite. Rob's point was clear. Rules should be the same for everyone. If not, it's not about truth. It's just politics. And Rob reminded them that hypocrisy is the funniest joke of all.
You have capitalist pressure. Capitalist pressure is really important because what happens is you have to make money or you have to do something of value so that you can get something in return. Now, the interesting thing is it's false advertising because honestly, Jimmy Kimmel can be funny, and I don't mean to take anything away from that. But the fact of the matter, can you remember a political joke that went viral? What was something really funny of his? There was no attempt in humor at all in what he said.
Rob also reminded people that Biden and Harris once pushed really hard on social media companies to control speech. Remember when Elon Musk had that fight with Twitter, which ended with him buying it? And remember how Meta, Facebook's company, used fact checkers to block or hide false posts? All of that came from the left. But now, the same people are angry because one of their own is stuck in a trap they helped create. Rob didn't say that fake news is okay. He just said the rules should be fair. If you supported silencing people when your side was in charge, you can't be surprised when the same system gets used against your own team. That, Rob said, is pure hypocrisy.
As a matter of fact, it was a lie. Now, as you pointed to, Will, since the 1960s, you have to get a license to broadcast. This isn't Netflix. This isn't cable. This is broadcast TV. And when you have broadcast TV, you have to, the airwaves are owned by the public. And to get that license, you have to be in the interest, like you said, of the public. And so that's why when there's a news van parked in the white zone, they don't get a ticket. Because they are there to present news, to inform the public in the public interest. So what happens is 25% originally was supposed to be the news to inform it, just to get that license. So when you absolutely lie to the public, then you are no longer in the public interest, like Jimmy Kimmel did the other night.
And here's what the woke crowd doesn't get. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't some poor victim. He used his big TV platform to mislead the public. When you do that, you face the results. Nobody forced him to talk. No one made him say those things. He could have stayed quiet or at least checked the facts before speaking on national TV. But he didn't. He wanted the quick laugh and the political jab. And that risked his own career. When you spread wrong information on purpose, it's not just a joke. It breaks trust in the very show that pays you. That's not about free speech being attacked. That's about taking responsibility. Rob's point was simple. Kimmel caused this himself, and the fallout was his own doing.
And actually it was something dangerous. So with the FCC chairman, he didn't say that he was going to pull the license. He was going to give them a warning and ask for an apology, on what I understood on the Benny Johnson show. And so that's not the government doing it. And when 246 different stations around the country say we're no longer airing this, it's because they heard from their consumers. They heard from their customers. And they said, that's it. We're not doing it. And so Nexstar, who was a great guy over there, Sean Compton, said, that's it. He's the CEO, and said, when we have complaints like this, and none of the channels, 246.
Rob also destroyed the lie that the government somehow forced Kimmel's firing. He said that's just made up. The truth is simple. ABC made the choice. They didn't like what Kimmel said, and they wanted to protect their brand. Rob even said the FCC wasn't planning to punish ABC. At most, they might have asked Kimmel to apologize and move on. But ABC wasn't okay with a small fix. They thought his words were rude, reckless, and bad for their image. So they cut ties. That's what companies do. It wasn't government control. It wasn't politics. It was business. Rob's message was clear. Kimmel's downfall wasn't a big conspiracy. It was his own words crashing into ABC's business interests.
I would just like to say this in defense of people who can get absolutely entrapped into this political echo chamber. And that's what happened to, in my opinion, what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. I heard him talking on some podcast with another comedian, and it's easy to get trapped in your political echo chamber.
And that's what really happened to Jimmy Kimmel. It all started as small jokes about Trump and MAGA. At first, it was just funny one-liners his fans liked. But slowly, it turned into something bigger and more toxic. Kimmel stopped being just a funny guy. He began repeating the same things you'd hear on cable news. He surrounded himself with people who thought exactly like him. He didn't use his stage to create open talk. He only pushed one side. No curiosity, no listening, no balance. He stopped being a comedian for everyone and became a voice for only one side. And that's what ended his career. He traded comedy for politics, and people noticed.
You're absolutely right about you have to bring value to your employer. You also have to serve, as you pointed out with the FCC's regulation, the public interest. Now, no one denies that you or Jimmy Kimmel can have your opinion, but it's where you use that opinion and on what platform. And there was a time, Rob, when late night hosts seemed to understand that balance a little bit better. And I just wanted to, with you and our viewers, remember together Johnny Carson.
This shows something important. TV hosts need to understand how powerful their stage is. Whatever they say on a big network reaches millions of homes. Their jokes and statements don't just stay in the studio. They spread everywhere. With that power comes responsibility. It doesn't mean they can't joke. It doesn't mean they can't have opinions. But it does mean they should be truthful and not just push one side's agenda. When a host only attacks one team, they stop being entertainers and start being political speakers. That's when people stop trusting them. A really great host can make fun of both sides, still be funny, and still be fair. Balance doesn't mean boring. It means fair. And fairness is rare today, but very valuable.
Why do they think that just because you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues? It's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that, you start to see that self-important feeling to what you say has great import. And you know, strangely enough, use that show as a forum. You can sway people, and I don't think you should.
Back in the day, Johnny Carson showed how late-night TV should be done. He made the standard. Carson could talk about anything, even politics, and still keep it light and funny for everyone. He knew that after a long day, people watched late-night shows to laugh, not to be lectured. But today's shows are very different. Almost every host uses the stage like a political soapbox, more about pushing views than telling jokes. And their favorite target? Donald Trump. Every night, the monologues sound more like campaign speeches than comedy. And the result? Viewers aren't laughing. They're rolling their eyes. Carson made people laugh together. Today's hosts split people apart. That's why late night doesn't feel magical anymore.
I agree with Johnny 100%. Well, Johnny Carson was unique in the sense that you don't really know if he leaned left or right. Sometimes he leaned left, sometimes he leaned right. He was there to get laughs, and he realized what people wanted to do. And I remember, like, as you know, when we were little kids climbing into our mom and daddy's bed when they let us stay up late on a Friday, and we'd watch Johnny Carson, we'd all laugh together because Johnny was there to entertain.
At the end, Rob Schneider's roast of Jimmy Kimmel wasn't just about one guy losing a job. It was about showing the double standards, the hypocrisy, and how entertainment has gone downhill. Rob reminded everyone that free speech doesn't mean free from consequences, especially on TV. He pointed out how the left was silent when Roseanne got fired, but upset when Kimmel was. He reminded them how they supported government pressure on social media, but now complain when the same trap catches their own people. And through all of this, Johnny Carson's memory still hangs over late night, showing what it once was, funny, light, and for everyone. That's the real lesson from Kimmel's fall. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, click like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.